Hey guys, so my Tesla was making that lovely sound when your wheel bearing starts to go. Almost sounds like a dying motor, and I'm pretty sure it was just the driver's side, but I'm going to change them both anyway because I'm at about 300,000 kilometers in my standard range, rear wheel drive. So I figured might as well. And one of the ways you can tell is if you're turning right, which centrifugal force brings all the weight to the left side and the noise gets a little bit worse. So anyway, it's not too hard to do. I figured I'll make a quick little video for this because I know there's videos on how to do this out there, but I'm pretty sure that all those are for the dual motor, and this is slightly different. You don't have like the spline on the front end here because it's not dual motor, so it's a little bit different the way that the bearing goes in, and there's no wheel nut to worry about, which is actually kind of handy. So I'll go through it and show you how to do it. It's very simple. Car's filthy because it's winter here and I just was driving, so I'm probably going to get dripped on by snow. Like there's some here that I'll have to kick loose. But anyway, some of the things you're going to need is probably an impact or a breaker bar, and you need the 21 mil for the lug nuts. And then let's see what else we need here. We got a 10 mil, which you use for the to take off the rotor. Although on my front right, which I'm about to do, there's no nut holding it on, which isn't recommended, but I mean it's not the end of the world, and that's because when I was changing my rotors, the 10 mil nut just stripped off, so I had to drill it out, and really I'm just using the lug nuts to hold the rotor on. But like that's totally fine, like it really is. I mean, one tiny little 10 mil that is not even torqued very hard to hold it on. And then for the calipers, I just use a 9/16 instead of like the inverted Torx or whatever it is. And then what else do you need? An 18 mil to take off the actual wheel bearing itself. I'll show you my old one over here that I've already changed. So as you can see, there's no they're in rough shape, 300,000 kilometers. So anyway, there's no hole that goes through here to go on the spline or wheel nut, which I think in the other ones is 32 millimeter or 1.25 inches perhaps. So the only thing that's holding this in is the 3 18 millimeter bolts, which makes it so much easier. So oh, you also need the 10 millimeter to take out, I don't know if it's the speed sensor or the ABS sensor, but we'll get started here, and I'll try to pause this as I go and make it as easy as possible for you guys that have a rear wheel drive, because the process is slightly different. I actually think it's easier because in some instances people are taking off the tie rod end to access the wheel bearing to get behind it, or the upper control arm, they're loosening it off so they can have full access to the hub. You don't need to do that at all with this. So I will be back. I'm going to jack up the car and get the wheel off. I don't think you guys need to watch me do that. If you don't know how to do that, then you're definitely not going to be doing the rest of this video. Oh, I'm also going to change the loudspeaker, the VESS or whatever you want to call it. This is it right here. Yeah, I'm actually going to change the loudspeaker. I've had this for quite some time because mine just stopped working like 6 months ago, a year ago, something like that, and I just never bothered to change it because I just didn't have the time and I didn't care enough about it. But I kind of figure while I'm at it, since it's located in the basically behind the wheel well up front, I might as well just do it. So I guess I'll show you guys how to do that too. Pretty sure I just need to pull all the there's probably some push pins in here, I'm guessing. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of like little push pins that I'll have to pull those off, pull the plastic back, and then I'm guessing it's just three 10 millimeters that probably go in this. They seem to love 10s, so I'd be guessing 10 millimeter, and then I suppose a wiring harness to power it, and then go from there, see if I have my sound back. So I'm going to include that in this video as well, so I will be back in a little bit. Okay, so normally, as you can see on your rotor here, there's these 5 holes, and what they're used for is in the actual hub. There's a little hole here that you can thread a 10 mil in through there into the hub, which holds this on, but like I can hit that and it's not going anywhere. It's, you know, over time it kind of holds itself in, which is not recommended, but it's not going to go anywhere. So anyway, the next thing I got to do here, now that I've taken the wheel off, as you can see there's no nut or anything in here, is I got to take the calipers off. So I'm going to use, what I think I said, the 9/16. There's 2 bolts that you got to back out. So let me get a light in here. So there's one right there. Hopefully I can focus on it right there. And then there's another guy. I don't know if I can get the camera in there too well. Where is it? Well, I can see it, but I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, okay, it's right there. Right there. So those 2 have to come off. So once those 2 come off, you can just pull the caliper back, and don't just let it fly, because the brake line here, you don't want to, brake line here, sorry, you don't want that to separate. So I'm actually just going to set it in on the lower control arm and just kind of shove it back in there, and then it'll be totally fine. So I'll take that off and I will be back. Okay, so I have the caliper off. So as you see, I just set it in there and it'll sit fine. So next, what I got to do is see if I can get it so you guys can see. That's the hardest part, filming by yourself, is you don't have anyone to help you hold the light and stuff. You need like a kid so you can yell at them for not holding it right. So on top here is 10 millimeter, and then this wire here that goes up into it. As I said, it's either the ABS or a speed sensor, so it's not torque tight at all. So we're just going to loosen that off and pull it straight out, and then we'll clean it up a little bit, make sure there's no like corruption, and then we'll just tuck it up right in here, just so it doesn't get in our way. And then after that, we can take off the, well, we could take off the rotor now. I guess it's not a big deal, but as you can see, it's like I'm still shaking it and it's not coming loose. So if I hit it a few times with the, I'll probably take a piece of wood, hit it with the mallet, because as I say, they really end up holding themselves, and there's nothing holding this in. And if by chance I can find a spare 10 millimeter bolt, which I may or may not have, I'll just put it in the new one, because my old wheel bearing, I'm pretty sure when I pull it out, I'm going to see that I had to drill the hole to be able to get the old one off, because it just snapped and it just was unexpected. And I think I did that when I was doing my brake maintenance and changing the rotor. So anyway, I'm going to pull this off. As I say, I'm just going to grab a piece of wood and just tap on this to knock her loose, pull it straight off, and then I will be back in a little bit. Yeah, I figure I better show you this. So there's that bolt. It's 10 mil, and you pull that bolt out, and she's right there, which is the exact same one that holds the rotor. And then hopefully you can see, where are we? And this guy here pulls straight up. At least it should. Yeah, you might have to wiggle it a bit, and then it looks like that. Okay. So it's just a sensor, so we'll clean it up a bit, and you can see that's where it threads. So we'll just wipe off some of the crap, same with around it. We'll tidy that up a bit, and then we'll just tuck it up in here so it's not dangling and in the way. And then we'll take the 18 mil pins out that hold the bearing in. Okay, so this is going to be fun to kind of show you guys. So once we have it off, yeah, you can see right there, I drilled my hole had to drill right through it. Not ideal, but whatever, it's what I had to do. So in behind here, let's see if I can, I don't know, the camera's gonna flip upside down, so this will probably be impossible, but you can still see them. There's two of them there with the little red mark on it. So you want to put your socket 18 mil in behind it, and then what I'm going to do, because they're torqued on there pretty tight, it's not too hard to get at. I'm just going to put my socket in and hold it with one hand. I can't film this, and then just bang it with the hammer, probably with the little mallet, just to loosen them up, basically to break them. Do that with all three, and then once you get them broken, they're actually really easy to come out. You just keep going until you pull them out, and then to get the actual bearing off, because it's not like pressed in really hard, so what you'll want to do is hit from the back side, probably with the mallet again a few times, and it'll, you know, 3, 4 to 5 taps, whatever, it'll start to loosen up, and then it'll just come right off. It shouldn't be too hard. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, now I have the 3 pin bolts removed. That's what they look like right there. We'll clean those up a little bit. We use a little bit of brake cleaner on them. So then, to get the actual bearing off, we're just gonna take our little mallet here, and we're gonna try to hit this side, because that's where the dust shield is free. And I'm just tapping at this. You can see it's coming out. Light taps. And it just pops right out. Pretty easy to get out. And then in here we'll just clean up some of the corruption and all the shit in there. And then put the new one in. It's just to reverse the process I just showed you. Really easy to do this. It's not hard. Anyone can do it. And that's it. But if you want to learn how to change the outside loudspeaker, keep watching. If not, that's all you need to know. Okay, for those of you still watching, I actually found a 10 millimeter bolt which will fit perfectly in there, so I can actually attach the rotor to the wheel bearing properly instead of just having the lug nuts hit it, which is good. Anyway, so we're going to install this now. So what we have to do is, you probably need a pry tool or something, so you can, there's these push pins. I think there's about, I don't know, 7 that we have to remove probably. Let's take a look here. So there's, that definitely has to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that probably has to go. Maybe that, so 5. Then there's another one there, 6, and possibly that for 7. They probably have to come out. So on these things, there's just like a little channel. Let's see if I can find one. If you look closely, there's a spot to stick in your pry tool, or you could use a straight screwdriver, whatever. Pop it in the center, pull it out. So we're going to do that, pull this back until I can see the this guy here, and we'll go from there. I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so I removed 5 of the little push pins. I don't know if I even needed that many. I just wanted a little more room. So anyway, it's literally just sitting right there, seated with 3 bolts. I'm guessing a 10 millimeter, I'm not sure yet, and then the wiring harness. But before I remove it, I'm just going to pull the wiring harness. I'm guessing that little gray thing on the top, you've probably got to pull that out and then wiggle it out. It's probably really stiff, so we'll just take our time, pull it back, wiggle it out. And before I do anything, I'm going to just test this guy to make sure it works. And then I guess at that point, just remove the bolts, put the wiring harness in, and should be good. But what I'll do is I'll just use the Tesla app and use the fart sound and see if it makes a noise. So that's about it for that. I don't really think there's anything else I need to show you. That's where it is. You just pull those pins out. They're just like these little guys here. So that's it. Okay, so I got the loudspeaker changed here. Here's the old one. Gotta be honest, that was by far the hardest part of this entire process. 10 times harder than the wheel bearings. Only because it's just a real pain in the butt to to get to. I was thinking it was going to be a 10 mil bolt. It's actually a T25, but there's not a lot of room to get in there, so I had to kind of MacGyver. I used, I think, a 1/4 inch socket, and then I took the T25, just like an actual like tiny little bit, like that big, put it in the end of the 1/4 inch socket, which actually held that, and just used a small socket wrench to go at it. It took me a while to think to do that, because there's just not enough room to go at it going this way. I think the proper way would be to take all the pins down and drop the bottom part of that skid plate down. That would probably be way easier to do, but at this point I had committed to doing it the hard way, so be aware of that.